He says that the King of Wind spirits descended, surprising Kion quite a bit. Eugene notes that he said he just wanted to see who called upon him, as it's been a while since anyone truly has. Kion says that nobody has been able to summon the King of Wind spirits since Vermouth passed. Eugene confirms it, and also adds that he said he lacked power, so he was looking forward to when they would meet again. Gillard laughs and finds all of this nothing short of amazing. He is truly an amazing child, as he also heard from Kion about how he felt mana instantly, and his fast use of the white flame method. That alone can be considered a huge achievement, but to know that he got some attention from the great King of Wind spirits? Amazing. Eugene smiles, and Gillard notes that Kion will teach him once he has rested for a few days. Originally, he wanted to begin training after the blood sacrifice ritual. However, right now, the most important thing they should do is support his growth as much as they can. Eugene says that he appreciates it deeply, but also doesn't want to bother Kion that much. He notes that it's no bother, as he wants to teach him personally. He will also be teaching Cayenne and Seal, and the Patriarch will come and help whenever he can. Gillard still smiles and thinks that it would be quite nice if this were to motivate Cayenne and Seal to be better. They are at the training grounds, where Seal says that Eugene just became a White Flame 1-star. Cayenne notes that he knew already, but Seal says that it took them basically forever to become that. Cayenne gets furious and says that it wasn't forever, as even among their ancestors, 1 month is extremely fast. They both think that in one meager day, Eugene was able to become a whole star. And so, after this conversation, they begin training. Eugene sits silently in his room, waiting for everyone to leave, and when they do, he immediately picks up the Winid and unsheathes it. From the tip of the sword, a sylph comes out, which is a low-grade spirit, but this is probably the most he can do with his current mana. He asks her if she's heard anything from the king, but she doesn't respond, and he thinks that they aren't intelligent, so he probably can't have a conversation with one of them. So naturally, he resorts to threats, a language that has no barrier, telling the sylph that he's going to kill Tempest if he finds out he was lying. The fairy doesn't like his attitude one bit, and she flies away through his hair. Eugene thinks that he was the only one to die in the Demon King of Incarceration's castle, as all of his comrades, excluding Vermouth, were revived in the Demon Real Helmut. The only ones who truly know about the promise are either the Demon King of Incarceration or Vermouth. He will have to visit Helmut someday, but not just that. Aroth, Eurus, and Luhar. Maybe in these places, he will be able to find traces of his long-lost companions. However, in his current state, he can't, as he still has a child's body. But one day, he surely will. While looking into the mirror, Eugene notes that time sure does fly fast, as he's now 17 years old. He thinks that it's quite nice to have such a pleasant body, but he did train in mana every day after all. He's also a 3-star White Flame. But this isn't really enough, as to use this temple of a body, he will have to learn things that he didn't in his past life. While doing their daily training, Eugene tells Cayenne that he will go to Aroth to learn magic. Cayenne wants to know how he can spout such nonsense out of his mouth, and Eugene says that this very morning, he was training as usual with the White Flame method, and suddenly, he could do this. He spins the stars into his body in rapid motion, and white energy envelops every crevice of his body. Cayenne is extremely shocked and asks how such a thing could be possible. This guy started training mana 7 years later than him, but he's already a 3-star, while he remains a lowly 2-star. Eugene notes that yes, it is indeed impossible, but he's a genius. Cayenne says that he wants him dead, but Eugene notes that they can't do that since they are brothers. Cayenne says that he beats him up like he's going to really kill him every single morning. Eugene notes that he was the one to invite him to training every single morning, so they can stop if he really wants to. Cayenne avoids his gaze and asks why he wants to learn magic all of a sudden. Has he really forgotten what happened to Iode? He followed Roberian to Aroth to learn magic after the secession ritual, and couldn't even come close to becoming his disciple, as he wasn't that talented. He's basically been a burden for Iode these last couple of years because he couldn't achieve a single thing, despite his many connections. Eugene notes that he just says whatever comes through his thick head, but Cayenne feels he didn't say anything wrong. However, he just stayed at the main house and trained, instead of arrogantly trying to learn magic. If he were to go to Aroth right now, Seal might be upset. Eugene laughs and notes that she stopped talking to him a while ago, and started training by herself shortly after. He drops his sword and leaves, causing Kian to ask where he's going. Eugene says that he will be going to the Patriarch and telling him about his wishes and how he became a 3-star. Kian can only feel like a shadow before this guy, and he wonders why he also wants to learn magic now. Gillard is quite surprised by his request and asks if he truly means what he just said. Eugene confirms that indeed, he wants to go to Aeroth and learn magic. Gillard demands to know why that is, as no one in their whole ancestry has managed to become a 3 at his age. If he were to continue like this, it might be possible for him to even become a 4-star before he becomes an adult. Eugene notes that he realized something when he became a 3-star student. Mere training, as he's been doing, won't be enough, considering how much growth he has. He wants to learn many things and doesn't know if he really has talent for magic. But if he were learning it, he may have a new perspective when it comes to mana. All around, it would be a great experience for him to learn a new subject, and not at all a meaningless venture. He bows down to the Patriarch, who thinks a bit before looking at him. He asks him to raise his head and says he can't deny such passion for learning, even as a Patriarch. But he must promise him one thing, not to get involved with dark magic. In Aeroth, there is a dark magic tower with dark mages. Unlike in the past, there aren't any rumors, and people no longer look at those people in a negative light. But Lionheart is the bloodline of the Great Vermouth. So naturally, dark magic is forbidden and frowned upon, even if it's not directly written in their laws. Eugene looks down, and he knows all too well that dark magic is the source of all evil, and that only cruel things can come from it. He tells Gillard that there's no cause for concern on that part, as he hates dark magic with a passion. While walking away, someone knocks on a door. It's Seal, who notes that she wants to talk with him. He notes that she can come out here if she really wants to talk, but she denies it, as she smells of sweat due to the training. She asks if he's truly going to Aeroth, and he in turn asks if Kian told her. She confirms this and also says that she knows about him being a 3-star as well. But why is he leaving? Eugene says that he wants to study magic, but she notes that he has spirit magic, and they could also just invite a mage from the capital. However, the most important thing would be that she and Kian would catch up to his skill level while he was gone. Eugene says that he's quite fine with that, as it will be much more fun training with them if that were to happen, but it's also been a while since they last fought. Seal blushes and asks if he will still go to Aeroth if they are to spar from now on. Eugene says that he's still going, no matter what, and she calls him a bastard while also asking how long he will leave for. Eugene says that he will know when he gets there, but for a few years at least. She wonders why he wants to leave for so long, as nothing good comes out of leaving home. Eugene can only sigh, and Seal also asks about his father, Jahard. Eugene notes that he will be just fine without him, as he's used to the main family lifestyle and has lost weight from regular hunting as well. She still tries to make him stay, noting that Kian or her brother will be upset, but Eugene assures her that he will still be going and wishes her good luck with her training. While walking away, she pops her head out of the door and asks if he will truly be going one last time. He just waved her goodbye, making her quite sad, as she also didn't want him to go. On the day of departure, Eugene talks with his father, who urges him to not go around bad influences, even while in Aeroth, and to study diligently. Eugene, in turn, says that he shouldn't laze around during his exercise because he's not here. His father laughs and gets up, noticing just how much taller he is now. But most important of all, he should just take care of himself. They all see him off at the portal gate, and Gillard asks if he really doesn't want any guards to go with him. Eugene says no, as he's quite confident in his ability to defend himself. Gillard thinks that he's already 3 stars, so he should be fine, which is not something he can say for Iode. His father begins sobbing uncontrollably, and Eugene urges him to stop, as he was acting brave earlier. So what happened now? It's not like he will change his mind because he's crying, so he should at least say goodbye to his son with a smile on his face, right? Through the tears, he finally manages to pull out a smile, which Eugene appreciates. He turns to the gate, and with a last farewell, leaves. He arrives at the Mage Kingdom of Aeroth's capital, Pentagon. The 5 magic towers here create a pentagram with the castle at its core. Eugene rides around in a flying vehicle of sorts, and thinks that he's been to Aeroth in his past life as well, but it's much, much different. For starters, it has a floating station, And out of all the kingdoms, Aeroth is the only one that keeps a warp gate in the sky. The stations, held up by lots of different and unique magics, symbolize the greatness of Aeroth's magic, while also being convenient and very marketable. His tour guide notes that this view is the best part of Aeroth, to him at least.